Hello, Cougar Scholars. So this is Ms. Strawn talking on behalf of Ms. Medlin, Ms. Mitchell, Ms. Pruitt, and Mrs. Strawn. Yeah, that's myself. And we are going into week 9. The big project, which it's not that big of a project. It would be if we were really in school, but the ending project for this course. So uh, it's the Invention advertising campaign, and I'll get into those details soon. This campaign will test your ability to use the content from the last couple of weeks, which would be the persuasive appeals, logos, pathos, ethos, and then the advertising techniques. Just a word really quickly about the difference between those. Logos, pathos, and ethos are persuasive appeals, and while they can be found in advertisements, logos, pathos, and ethos can also be found in pretty much any argument, any writing assignment, any speech. They're the way that we try to convince an audience of our point of view. But an advertising technique is designated specifically for selling a product. Okay, so we're going to use both of those in this advertising campaign. Before we get into the advertising campaign, which I hope you'll find to be really fun, you'll be able to use some of your creativity. I'm going to give you some reminders since this is the last week of content, new content that we'll be delivering. Reminders are that all at-home learning assignments, including this Invention advertising campaign, are due by Tuesday, May 26th. And that is so that we English teachers and all teachers can get your grade figured for the semester. So we ask that you please be diligent in making up the work, completing it, turning it in on time. Also remember that passing your English 1 course and any other EOC test or STAR test course like biology or algebra will also give you a pass on the state mandated test. So the state will not make you take that test to graduate unless you don't pass it here in May. Okay, so that does not work for summer school. That does not work for taking credit recovery. So passing the course this semester will give you that pass on the STAR test, and that's a real blessing. So I hope that you all take advantage of that. I would ask if you're needing to complete some assignments that you are missing, that you'll complete those assignments in order by week number, because this project that we're doing is a culmination of several weeks of lessons. So go in order and it will all make more sense to you. Don't forget you can retest on assignments to improve your scores. And basically to pass for the semester, you just need to know that we're using a simple average this semester. There's no final exam, so you just need to earn 210 points to pass this semester. So if you look at the equation here, 70 plus 70. So if you made a 70 for the 4th 6 weeks and a 70 for the 5th 6 weeks, then all you would need to do is make another 70 to have 210 points. Likewise, if you have another number going on, let's say you made a 50 4 6 weeks, you weren't really feeling it, but man, you kicked butt at home learning and you earned an 80 and an 80 for these last 2 6 weeks, then you still get the pass. It's 210 points. So figure out your average and make sure that you have what you need to pass the semester. All right, so let's get into what we're going to do with persuasive appeals and advertising techniques. We're asking that you invent a product. That does not mean you have to create it. You're just talking about an idea for a product. So create a new product, and then you're going to design an ad for your product. That can be a print ad, a radio ad, or a TV commercial. Okay, so how would you do that? So keep in mind your target audience. Who do you want to buy the product, and use whatever's appropriate to appeal to that audience. Colors, language, images. Think about what you would need for that particular audience. So who are you trying to target? Your product description and advertisement must. What do you have to have? You have to describe the product invention idea. Include a unique name and the product's purpose. You can't use a product that already exists, like Mikey's athletic wear instead of Nike's. Just don't do it. You need to have something new use at least 2 persuasive appeals, so logos, pathos, and ethos, and then use at least 2 advertising techniques. That could be bandwagon, avant-garde, transfer, facts and figures, testimonial, or plain folks. Now, it's your job to be persuasive, to encourage someone to buy your invented product by using vivid language, eye-catching colors, and graphics. Build credibility with your audience, especially your teachers, by using correct grammar and spelling. So let's just kind of remind you what some of those are. So for a print ad, for a bandwagon, these are some of the ones we've used before, but you would want to add, you would have to make sure that you had more than just one appeal. You have to have at least 2 advertising techniques. So remember, bandwagon's all about popularity. Drink everybody knows, America's favorite mascara. Avant-garde is about being different and unique. So Apple is big on being think different. I think we used one for a perfume, a French perfume with Julia Roberts. Remember that commercial be an example. Transfer examples is when the product, they want you to associate a person or an idea with the product. So with patriotism for the Army, you know, you have Tiger Woods. He's not eating the Wheaties, but he's on the Wheaties box. So they want you to transfer that popularity and his athleticism with the product. Same thing with, I think that's Danica Patrick with milk. You have facts and figures, which they do use logos in facts and figures examples, but in facts and figures it can also be a little deceptive, that it's not always 100% correct. Like 40% less fat than what? They're not necessarily telling you all of the facts for that. So facts and figures, you could use the example for your ad. Testimonial, where someone's using the product and they are selling it, telling you it's good. So then we have plain folks, where we have common, everyday, ordinary people who are representing the ad. And then we're going to use this rubric to score your assignment. So persuasive appeal 1, ad clearly uses one of the persuasive techniques in a superior way. Appeal is identified in explanation or labeled. Ad is creative and original. Okay, so to get all 20 points for that, it needs to be clear that you're using logos, pathos, or ethos. And you have maybe identified it on the ad, which I will show you, or you have used an explanation where you show how you've used it. So you're going to do that for 2 persuasive appeals, 2 different ones. So you'll have a logos appeal and maybe in a pathos appeal. Then the same for 2 advertising techniques. And then lastly, for overall quality. It could be for layout, design, creativity, your product description, the effort that you've put into it. So we have superior effort, where no errors, polished appearance. You have a clear creative message describing your product. This is how we're going to score this assignment. Okay, so here's an example of ones we've done in the past. So this is a picture I took of a print ad for a product called the Control Remote. And they told us here that this is why they invented it. They invented it so that you could relax in peace and quiet. You can recommend it to your friends, and then they tell us what it does in this explanation. Then what they did is that they made this is like a pamphlet. So they just used good old-fashioned markers and scissors, and this worked just fine. This received an A because it was very, detailed. They said logos, here's logos. The Control Remote has 8 different options to choose from. Put the kids to sleep, to eat, to behave, even attack when necessary. Put them on pause or mute when you need some quiet. It even has a volume, so you can turn up their volume or lower it. So this is all logic. They have pathos. It talks about, with the Control Remote, you can start relaxing and enjoy your peace and quiet while your kids aren't making a single peep. Teens, make babysitting a lot easier with the new Control Remote. Talking about peace and quiet, that's their pathos. They have testimonials where people are saying, I really love it, it's so great. #1 best-selling product in America. This we know is going to be bandwagon, and they explained it here. So this is an example of a print ad. It labeled the techniques and the appeals as they went through. Here's another one. That's a print ad. that you could use. I believe this year it was all print ads, but we're giving you some options this year. So they did theirs separately. So they had a typed product description and explanation, and then they had their actual ad. So there's two different ways. I mean, really there's three ways that you can do it. So this one's for Zoom's shoes, and you can see they didn't label it on their ad, and that's fine. But then they told us here in their explanation. It says, my product is called Zooms. Zooms are brand new high-tech shoes especially designed to increase velocity. Zooms were invented to help people who love speed and need to go faster. I used two persuasive appeals in my advertisement. First, I chose to use ethos by stating that expert trainers recommend my product. Good, building credibility. Second, I used pathos by agreeing to donate $20 toward orphan care for every pair of Zooms sold. Okay, so orphan care, make you feel sorry for someone, there's pathos. I also used two different advertising techniques. First, I used the bandwagon technique, encouraging possible buyers to be like everyone else. Everyone knows all the cool kids are wearing Zooms. My second advertising technique was the use of Olympian Usain Bolt as a testimonial. And then that they're telling us where they're going to sell it. I would like to run my advertising campaign in U.S. sport and possibly develop a media campaign commercial to air on ESPN. I selected those outlets because I believe that they will help me better reach my target audience, athletes, Olympians, and normal people who want to run faster. I think my ad will appeal to my target audience by showing them that trainers recommend them. Usain Bolt runs with them, and you will be cool, fast, and help orphans around the world every time you buy a pair of Zooms. This is a superior example, okay? So for print ads, these are really good examples. So if you're going to do a print ad, how could you do that? You could create a print ad digitally, like with canva.com or Google Slides. Really, any format or app that you're comfortable with will work. Or you could use good old-fashioned low-tech options like paper, markers, scissors, crayons, your choice. The way you're going to share that is you're going to upload a picture or share the link to your digitally created ad. You just have to make sure that you have sharing settings set where we can see it, okay? So I'll show you how to do that in just a moment. For TV ads, you can use your cell phone to create a video, whichever or whatever recording device you have. You can use TikTok or any of your favorite apps, as long as the video link can be shared and opened. Don't forget to change your sharing settings if you save it to Google Drive. And I have an example in this ad. I'm not going to show it to you right now, but I'll leave it for people who want to see it. I'll link this slideshow, so if you want to look at this commercial example that a student made, you're welcome to do so. Then for radio ads, there's some online options that allow you to record, edit, and share audio easily. If you've used SoundCloud, you click on the link here that I'm going to put this in to a format where I'm going to share the slide URL, so when you can click on it, you'll be able to open it. You can look at how SoundCloud works, but you don't have to have, anything special for that. Vocaroo, I'm going to just show you because this one's really cool. In Vocaroo, you don't even have to have any kind of account at all. Simply, you could start, like right now, I'm starting to record it. It's recording me right now. I can hit stop and then save and share and send it wherever I want to go. So if you want to do a radio ad, that's a really cool option. So, and SoundCloud works similarly, although I don't know if it works as easily as Vocaroo. You could just use the voice memo app on your phone. As long as you can share it, you could upload that to YouTube if you need to. Again, I'm going to put the Dairy Queen ad, this link here. You can go to it and listen to a really funny, good radio advertisement. I'm sure you've heard those before, so you don't maybe need to listen to all of those, but I want to make that available. And I also want to keep this video short enough that you have time to work on this. Okay, so radio, print, or TV commercial using two persuasive appeals and two advertising techniques of your choice. So how are you going to submit your Invention ad campaign? Okay, so in the Session 2 folder, you're going to access the Invention ad campaign assignment. Okay, it will be an assignment. You're going to open the Google Doc, and you're going to need to be sure that you have your CSISD 1000 Gmail associated with your account. So you can do that by going to Resources, the top, this is on Schoology. Go to Apps, see it right here? It's in yellow. Google Drive Resource App, and connect your 1000 number. So it says sign in to connect your account. The password is going to be the same as your Schoology password. Okay, so you want to connect it because then you're going to open up a document where you're going to submit your work. So you'll open the Google Doc and place your ad campaign link or your image or your actual campaign in the correct labeled section. So depending on how you're doing it, okay? So link or image, or if you are actually like took a picture of it, or if you are typing it there on that document, either way, you're going to put it on the same Google Doc, okay? It's going to have a section labeled for you as print ad, radio ad, or TV ad. As a matter of fact, I can show you what that looks like right now so that you feel comfortable that when you see it, you are going to know for sure you're there. Okay, so it'll say Google Doc assignment template, and it's going to say this. It says, submit your invention description and advertising campaign on this page by copying and pasting the link or image of your print ad, radio ad, or TV ad under the proper heading. For your description and explanation, okay, so if you didn't do it like the one that was the control remote where it labeled all of those parts, if you didn't do it that way, you can write an explanation. And you want to make sure you communicate clearly so we understand that you know how to do all of the persuasive techniques and you know how to do all of the advertising techniques, okay? So you can just follow this template to make sure you have all of your information. What is it called? What 2 persuasive appeals did you use? What 2 advertising techniques did you use? Where would your advertising campaign go? So it follows that paragraph. But if you have a link to your print ad or a picture, you're going to put it here. Okay, so you would actually just, if you would post your picture here, if you have a picture that you take, you're going to copy and paste it here, or you're going to, if you made it on Canva or Google Slide, you would put your link here. Make sure your sharing settings, let me go back over here. Look at the sharing settings, okay? So when you go to sharing, you can see my screen. It says anyone at College Station ISD with the link can view. That's not good. If I want you to be able to see it, I've got to change it to more, to anyone with the link. Okay, so I hit save. Now all I have to do is copy my link and anyone can see, and then put my link where I want it to go, and then anyone who has that link can open it up. Okay, so you want to make sure that you do that for if you have it saved on your Google Drive or any other location. Okay, radio ad, do the same, and then we have the place for your TV ad link. All right, so hopefully that's easy enough for you. As always, if you have any question, you want to make sure that you ask your teacher. Stay in communication. We want you to do well. We want you to finish strong. But the ball is in your court, so to speak, for you to complete your work. So let me just remind you of a couple of things. All assignments are due by Tuesday, May 26th. Passing the course allows you to pass the STAR test. Okay? Complete the assignments in order. Retest if you need to. Do your absolute best and stay in contact with your teacher if you have any questions at all. Your notes for if you've forgotten what the persuasive appeals are and the advertising techniques, in the folder you will find for week 9, you will find the notes that will remind you of what those are. Okay? Hope you have a blessed week. Can't wait to see your advertising campaigns. I'm ready to want to go out and buy those products you're creating, and I can't wait to hear your crazy, wacky, wonderful ideas of if money were no object, what product would you create? All right? Have a great week. Bye-bye.